everyone, welcome to the Lou Elson Real Estate Channel. Buying your first home is incredibly exciting, but can also feel overwhelming with all the new terminology. That's why today we're breaking down 10 essential real estate terms for every first-time homebuyer should know. Let's dive in. Number 1, amendments. An amendment is a formal change. It can alter, add, or correct part of an existing agreement. Think of it like editing a document. Once an offer is accepted, the purchase agreement becomes a legally binding contract. If either the buyer or seller wants to change something after acceptance, they use an amendment. This has to be agreed upon and signed by all parties. Let's say, after the home inspection, some minor roof repairs are needed. The buyer can propose an amendment to the seller, requesting the seller to either make the repairs or provide a credit at closing to cover the cost. Both parties have to agree to this amendment before it can be valid. Number 2, an appraisal. An appraisal is an estimated property value. It's a professional opinion of value based on an analysis of the property's features, location, recent comparable sales. Lenders require an appraisal to ensure they're not lending more money than the home is worth. An appraiser will visit the property, assess its condition, size, and features, then compare it to similar recently sold properties in the area. You made an offer on a house for $300,000. The lender orders the appraisal. The appraiser values the home at $290,000. This could mean the lender will only approve a loan for $290,000. You might need to renegotiate the price with the seller or bring more cash to closing. Number 3, an assumption. Assumption is when a buyer takes over the seller's existing mortgage. This means the buyer becomes responsible for the remaining loan balance and its terms. This is less common today than in the past. It can be beneficial if the existing mortgage has a lower interest rate than the current market rates. However, not all mortgages are assumable, and lender approval is typically required. Imagine a seller has a mortgage with a very low fixed interest rate from a few years ago. If their loan is assumable, a buyer could potentially take over that loan, avoiding the higher interest rates currently available. However, the buyer would likely need to qualify with the lender. Number 4, a beneficiary in real estate. The beneficiary is usually the lender. They are the recipient of benefits from a deed of trust, which secures the loan. In a deed of trust, there are 3 parties: the borrower, trustor, the lender, beneficiary, and a neutral third party, trustee. If the borrower defaults on the loan, the trustee can initiate foreclosure on behalf of the beneficiary or lender. When you take out a mortgage, the bank or lending institution is the beneficiary. They benefit from the interest paid on the loan, and they have the right to foreclose on the property if you fail to make your payments. Number 5, close of escrow. Close of escrow is the final stage of the home buying process. It's the date when all documents are recorded, funds are dispersed, and ownership officially transfers from the seller to the buyer. On this date, the deed is recorded with the county, making the buyer the legal owner. Keys are typically handed over, and title insurance becomes effective, protecting the buyer's ownership rights. Your close of escrow is set for June 15th. On that day, you'll sign the final paperwork. The lender will fund the loan, and you'll officially become the owner of the property. You'll receive the keys and can finally move in. Congratulations. Number 6, comparable sales, comps. Comparable sales or comps are recently sold properties with similar characteristics to the property being appraised. They're used to determine a fair market value. Appraisers and real estate agents use comps to determine a reasonable price range for a property. They look at factors like location, size, age, number of bedrooms and bathrooms, and recent sale dates. To determine the value of a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house in a specific neighborhood, an appraiser might look at recent sales of other 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom houses in the same neighborhood that sold within the past few months. These are the comps. Number 7, deed of trust. A deed of trust is a legal document used in some states as an alternative to a traditional mortgage. It secures the loan with the property. As mentioned earlier, it involves 3 parties: the borrower, or trustor, the lender, beneficiary, and a trustee, a neutral third party. A trustee holds the title to the property until the loan is paid off. Instead of signing a mortgage, you might sign a deed of trust. This document gives the trustee the power to sell the property through a non-judicial foreclosure process. if you default on your loan. Number 8, deed restrictions. Deed restrictions are private agreements that limit how a property can be used. They're included in the deed and run with the land, meaning they apply to future owners as well. These restrictions can cover a variety of things, such as minimum house size, architectural styles, or restrictions on certain activities, like running a business from the home. A deed restriction might state that all houses in a neighborhood have a minimum square footage of 2,000 square feet, or that no fences can be higher than 6 feet. These restrictions are in place to maintain property values and neighborhood aesthetics. Number 9, earnest money deposit. Earnest money is a deposit made by the buyer to show their good faith and commitment to purchasing the property. It's typically held in escrow until closing. This deposit demonstrates to the seller that the buyer is serious about their offer. It's usually a percentage of the purchase price and is credited towards the buyer's down payment at closing. You make an offer on a house for $250,000 and include an earning month's deposit of $5,000. The $5,000 is held in escrow and will be applied to your down payment at closing, reducing the amount of cash you need to bring. Number 10, easement. An easement is a legal right that allows someone to use a portion of another person's property for a specific purpose. Common examples include utility easements, allowing utility companies to access lines, driveway easements, allowing a neighbor to share a driveway, or access easements, allowing someone to cross a property to reach their own. Your neighbor's driveway partially crosses your property line. A driveway easement would legally allow them to continue using that portion of their property or their driveway. Understanding these terms is crucial for a smooth and successful home buying experience. We hope this video has helped clarify some of the jargon. If you have questions or are ready to start the home search, please don't hesitate to reach out. Contact Lou Elson Real Estate. We're here to help.